like yours will really come my way. Every day seems a little longer. Every way love's a little stronger. Somewhat say, do you ever long for true love from me? There you go, baby. Here am I. Will you left me so I could sit and cry? Well, golly gee, what have you done to me? Well, I guess it doesn't matter anymore. Love you like I
Welcome to Cars and Us. My name is Dennis Tate. Today, Cars and Us is down in North White Plains in Westchester County, New York, at the annual Westchester Street Rods Inspection Day. This is a day where they bring all the cars in, all these street rods, beautiful cars, and they go around and they do an NSRA inspection to ensure the fact that the cars meet the state requirements, and they don't really have to because all these cars are really top shelf cars, but they do it just to conform and make sure that they are within the limits. And it's a great day out here. Westchester Street Rods are exceptional. It's an exceptional club, an extraordinary club. It's the premier club in Westchester County. We've already had something to eat, so we're getting we're out here kind of late. Full day of barbecue, anything you want to eat and drink, and it's just a fantastic day. I look forward to this every year. One of the fellows from the Westchester Street Rods has been on our show before, Tony Pisano, a great guy out of Greenwich, Connecticut, who has a stable full of cars. And when I tell you, he's got some of the highest dollar cars and some of the finest street rods that you're ever going to see in this tri-state area. So we get Tony on camera, and we'll talk about one of the cars that he brought down today. Tony?
Thank you, Dennis. Good to be here again.
It's always a pleasure to see you.
Nice to be on the show again, and good to see you.
Hey, listen, you have so many cars that we never run out of,
right?
we never run out of material with you, you know?
Right, yeah.
We did a show in the studio Tuesday night. I had Ward and I had Herbie up there, and your name came up. In fact, we had one of the old posters of the Zephyr, and we talked about that. And then last night, I did a show with Mikey Fredericks and Diana. And we, again, mentioned your cars, because he had done some striping and stuff on a number of your cars. And your name came up again, and I said, in fact, when you get a chance to see it, I will have to give my friend Tony a little plug, because, you do have, when I say, and I don't exaggerate, you do have the finest cars.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
This, your collection is just extraordinary. You've always been very good with us. Wherever Richie and I have done anything, you've always been generous and brought your cars out, which is something that I appreciate. It helps me for my show, and
of course.
I know you don't need the exposure, but you know what? It does prove for some good material for the audience. And the show gets aired quite extensively, as you well know. So today you brought this 44, just like a Cabriolet, right?
It's a 39 Ford,
39.
convertible.
Okay.
It's a rumble seat car. ZZ4 350 aluminum head motor, 700 R4 transmission, and goes right down the road nice. We just put a new chassis under it over the winter, new motor, and detailed it up, and we're ready to go do our cruises over the summer.
Now, speaking of cruises, I'll interject. Richie and I are doing a cruise every Tuesday over to Granite Springs Inn on Route 118 over in Somers, so
Yeah,
I think
we'll
you know
see
where
you
that
there.
is. So I
Definitely.
know you'll be over.
Yeah. Okay.
But this is only one of the many cars. Again, as I said before, we did speak earlier on last night and Tuesday night as well about the number of cars you got. In fact, last night, Mikey, he said, gee, I think we might have left out one or two of Tony's cars, you know?
Yeah.
You're working on, what, a 46?
48, which is just about finished. It's a beautiful car, and we'll see that again maybe on one of your other shows.
Right.
But right now, my top priority is Boyd Connington's building a 32 Ford for me, which we're going to go to the dry lakes and hope for 200 miles an hour.
Are you?
Yeah, and it will be a street-driven car.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah. That's,
What prompted you to get involved in
I
land
like-
speed?
I like to do something once in my lifetime, and I'm going to
No, it's great. It's
Yeah.
just that's a whole different car,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, a whole different car, and that's in the works now. It's at Marcel's in California, and working on the body and the hood. We have the motor. It's a 427 small block, blown and injected, and
is.
yeah, and that's in the works. And I hope to be there over the summer. And if people see American Hot Rod over, if they watch it, they'll probably see it on the show. And Dwayne will be driving the car for me.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you, because I was going to ask you about licensing and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it'll be licensed as a 32 Ford.
No, I meant licensing for racing.
Oh no, Dwayne is licensed for that.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's going to drive it for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
And you don't want to make a pass with it? I'm surprised.
No.
Too fast? Don't
Too
tell me you're
fast.
getting too
Yeah,
old.
too old and too fast.
That's.
But that's,
a trip. When
yeah.
you intend on doing that?
Probably in August.
Oh,
We're gonna do
okay.
that. Yeah, we're gonna try for August.
Now let's mention some of the other cars.
I have a 54 Chevrolet convertible, which we're building now. We have a Fat Man chassis for it. It'll be a big block car, and it's gonna be a real nice car.
What's
Nose and deck.
How far along are you on it?
Right now, just a chassis we're working on.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have two
So
projects going at the
that's-
same time, so it's kind of tough.
Right.
You know,
So it'll be a while for that one.
probably by next summer.
And now let's see the Boydster you sold,
Right.
and
The Lincoln I sold at Barrett Jackson.
the
People saw that. The Zephyr.
Well, I
Yeah.
happened to see you on there, but a lot
Yeah.
of people didn't. It was so quick.
Yeah,
you
so
know?
quick,
They
and,
hustled you in and out of there.
In and out, and it's quite an adventure for people who have a chance to go there. Do it at least once in your lifetime. You'll really get a kick out of
Some
it.
experience.
Some experience. It's different than watching it on TV.
Yeah. Oh,
you
I'm
know.
sure it is.
And there's so many people there, and the people told me to get off the stage, and it's my car. They didn't believe it was.
You
my
know what?
car.
I saw that, and I said,
Yeah,
you know,
there's
what
just,
the hell is
yeah.
going on here? You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
this
just-
is. In fact, I was telling Mike Fredericks, I said, you know, I
Yeah.
was a little bit offended. I said, maybe because it's a personal thing, because I
Yeah.
know Tony, you know, I know the car. I mean,
Right.
I sat in the car the first day you got it.
Yeah.
You know,
And we had a
brought
great
it
time
back
that
at the
night,
house.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, we had the all the homemade
Super
side, you know,
sausage,
and we had the
yeah.
homemade wine and everything, which was a
Right.
great night, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, that was quite a while ago too, wasn't it?
That was in,
Time went by so
2001.
fast.
Yeah.
Wow. 6 years.
6 years already.
Wow.
You know.
So now you still have your 32.
I have my 32 3-window. I have the 48 convertible. I have this car, the 54, and the 32 Boyd's doing.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're keeping busy.
Boy, I'll say. And you know what? A lot of people don't know actually what you do. And my show is aired up in your area. You're one of the biggest landscapers.
Well, I wouldn't say one of the biggest landscapers. Probably, maybe one of the best, not the biggest.
Okay. Well, that's,
You know,
that's good,
it just
huh?
I take pride in what I do. You know, and it pays off.
That's for sure. And while we're at it, how's Valerie?
Oh, Valerie's doing fine.
She
Yeah,
is?
she's a good girl. She keeps me
Good.
going.
Good.
You know, as long
Somebody has to.
Yeah,
Because you'll
yeah.
run away with yourself.
Right, exactly. If it wasn't for her, I'd have more cars. You know.
Anyway, you know what, Tony? It's always great to see you, and
Thank you.
and you know, it's an enjoyable day, and
It's
we'll look
my
forward to
pleasure.
seeing you, you know, on a Tuesday night up
Right.
at our cruise, and
Yeah, definitely.
you know, whatever car you bring out is fine, you know.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, we enjoy seeing you anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Thank
always
you very
a
much.
pleasure.
Thank
Thanks
you, Dennis.
so much,
Okay,
Tony.
my pleasure.
Just to show you what kind of club this Westchester Street Rods are, and the day that and the event that they produce every year with these street rods, bringing cars from all over and people from all over. I have Charlie Parinella, who is all the way from Parsippany, New Jersey. Well, it's really not that far, but you know, it probably takes him about 45, 50 minutes. Maybe a little bit less because he's got this 2004 Corvette. So I don't know how Charlie drives, but maybe he's over here in a half an hour. Charlie, welcome to Cars and Us.
Thanks.
All right,
Thanks.
Nice to see you over here.
Good to see you too.
Great day we have over here.
Beautiful
and,
day.
I assume you're enjoying the food. And,
Absolutely.
And a little bit to drink.
The camaraderie. Yes, I had a
And
lemonade.
that's it.
Right.
You know, yeah, it's a great club. You know,
Yep.
now I understand you're an associate member.
I'm an associate member. I was asked to join their associate group, and I was pleased to accept. I've known some of the members in this club for close to 40 years. Belonged to the North Jersey Street Rod Association, and we were kind of brother clubs there for a while, getting involved in a lot of different activities, and made a lot of good friends.
Sure.
And they are still my good friends. You know, treat me
Now-
like a brother.
Now, well, they treat everybody that way, and that's one of the things that I like about the club, and that's why I like to promote the club, because they do open their hearts, and they're very generous to everybody.
They certainly are.
But one of the interesting things that you and I talked about off camera was that you're an old-time, and still are, a drag racer from Island Dragway.
Island Dragway in Great Meadows, New Jersey. It's something, once you get it in your blood, it's hard to get out.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I've since I've run different cars. My first car I raced when I was 20 years old. It was a 61 Chevy Impala. And then later on, after getting married and time going on, I ran a 32 Bantam Roadster
Did you?
in Super Pro.
They were a hot car.
It was a 990 car, and I ran it around 10.2 to keep from breaking parts.
Right.
Had a lot of fun. But just lately, I picked up a 1971 Nova. I always did like the older Novas.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm going to be running that one every now and then just for fun. Not necessarily in competition, but just to kind of get the old blood flowing, the juices flowing once in a while at the track.
And keep your reflexes going.
Absolutely. Good reflexes, yeah.
Now, that's a street car also, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'm a driver. The Corvette I have behind me here, I've wanted a Corvette for 40 years. I finally bought one in 2004. And last year I took off for 28 days and put 10,000 miles on it in,
Did you?
in a
Where'd
month.
you go?
I went all down through Virginia, across Route 66, and then Southern California, up the coast.
No kidding.
The Vancouver, down through Montana, back to Colorado and home.
Did you go alone?
I went alone.
Wow, that must have been some trip.
It was a great trip. I've been cross country on a motorcycle 12 times, and 3 times in my street rod, and once and now in the Corvette. And the one thing I did do that was, it was a great accomplishment. I made a special mount for the grab bar, mounted my video camera in the passenger side.
Wow.
And I took about 10 hours of video, which I edited down to an hour from New Jersey to California and an hour DVD from California to New Jersey. Put it all to music and showed the state signs as I went through. So now if I never do it again, at least I have a momentum of the trip.
That's for sure. Hey, that's terrific. You're editing. What did you do? Did you do it on a computer?
I did it on the computer. I taught myself how to do it on the computer.
That's
It
terrific.
took a while. I got the software, and I made a few little mistakes here and there, but the DVD, I'm really kind of proud of it. Came out well.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's terrific. I mean, I have some equipment at home, but I prefer to use the studio because it's a little bit more. I have a little bit more of a variety in the studio. You know?
I'm sure.
So when it comes to editing, I mean, that's my area of expertise, and I really enjoy doing it. I mean, like this show, you know, I have to take this back and edit and put everything together, you know, to make it
Absolutely.
a show. But it is very enjoying, you know, and it's enjoyable. But to do it with the car is really great. In fact, just last week, I went up and I took the camera and went off shoulder, riding in the car. I went up to our old home tracked over drag strip up in Wingdale, and I took the footage of you know, going from 22, going over the railroad tracks, and going actually into the remnants of what the track is now, you know.
Right.
And I took some footage.
I'm amazed at the new technology nowadays. You know, remembering back what the old 8mm silent films were,
Oh, yeah.
and now with a good camera, the image stabilization and everything else,
Right.
the clarity of the picture and the colors, it's absolutely wonderful to get involved in.
It is, definitely. It's a great hobby. It's really not that expensive. You know, it's just a little bit time consuming, but you have to love it, Charles. You know?
That it is. That is time consuming.
Yep.
And memory intensive if you use a computer too.
That's for sure. But you know, you're able to do it in the confines of your own home, and you do it, you know, as you feel, you know, when you have the time.
That's true.
Speaking of time, that was what I was going to bring up too. You made all these trips. What the viewers, they're going to be thinking out there, what does this guy do? How could he take all this time? But you're a teacher, so you had all this time off.
I was a high school teacher for 38 years, and just as the students look forward to those vacations,
So did you.
So did the teachers. And I would go away for 2 weeks, maybe 3, and then come back. And I worked in construction for 28 years.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And then after I got a little bit out of shape to do that, I got my commercial driver's license, and I drove a big tandem dump truck for about
okay.
5 years also.
Okay.
So, but I've always had different side jobs and everything,
Right.
pay the bills and everything.
You're a hustler.
I try to be. I try to be.
Now, you're retired
I'm retired now about 5 years. Yes.
or semi. You still do stuff on.
Well, I don't have to do anything for money. I spend less money now. But
Okay.
so I think being a teacher taught me how to be frugal, with my
Right.
expenses and everything. And that's carried over into my later life, and I do fairly well.
Now, you were a shop teacher.
I was a shop teacher. I taught metal shop, wood shop, mechanical drawing, industrial education, yes.
Living in Parsippany, I take it you go out to Let East every year?
I do. As a matter of fact, I know quite a few people that are instrumental in putting that event on, and it's close to my home.
Let me give you a little bit of trivia, which you probably don't know. You have Terry Cook that runs it, and then you have Ronnie I, who runs the music. All right? Well, my partner, Richie, behind the camera, he's the one that brought them together.
Really? Well, all I can say is I went to high school with Terry Cook.
Did you?
Just sat right next to him in mechanical drawing class.
you?
Yeah. Terry and I we're old
He's
friends.
very gracious, when we go out and make sure, whatever you want, he's offering, whatever we need. And so we have a great time. Look forward to going out there every year. It does involve the cars and as well as the music, and that's kind of, our era.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you're car crazy and that era crazy, the 50s, 60s, like I say, I have a Corvette here today, but I have a 1932 Ford two-door sedan street rod, and I've had that car 38 years. And I rebuilt it twice, and put 100,000 miles on it the first time. So I think if you're car crazy, it doesn't matter what kind of car it is, you're really interested in something.
Oh, that's true. Now, so the viewers know the reason you didn't bring that car today was because they're doing construction on a Tappan Zee, and you don't really want to have those rocks flying up.
No, I really don't. I worry about it with this car too, but I just stay back and I never follow closely. I just try to do it carefully.
Yeah, it's a shame that they can't fix it once and for all, and give us a clean shot back and forth,
I don't think they're ever going to be done
I don't
with the
either.
highway
That's
system
wishful
here
thinking,
in this country. I really...
That's what we talked about the politicians.
I don't want to go there. But it just seems like there's so many cars and not enough asphalt. They're always working from here to Pennsylvania, Ohio.
Yeah.
I remember taking trips across country where if you got into Pennsylvania, you were fine.
Oh,
but
yes.
now it's your heart's in your throat all the way to Indiana, until you get out to the really wide open spaces.
Will you be going out to the York show?
Yes, I've been going there since they started going to York.
Okay.
From Timonium on, when it was in Timonium, Maryland, and now they've moved the area to York. I've been going almost every year.
Right. Now, do you go with the Westchester guys?
No, I go with the North Jersey group.
Oh, you do? But do you guys get together and hang out?
Oh,
over there?
absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely. I mean, they're friends here. Like I said, I've had 35 years or so, and they will always be my friends.
I was surprised when you said that you know Bobby Duncan, because Bobby Duncan and I go back over 40 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And you said you know him?
Oh, Herb Weisskopf and Jimmy DeSantis and Freddie and Lon Lewis. Oh, so many of them.
Yeah.
So many of them. I'm one of the older friends, I guess.
Well, no, that's great. It shows that the car guys really stick together and they have a lot in common, and they try to remain friends for the rest of their lives.
Well, good friends are always good friends. I cherish every one of my friends, and you have to work at some of the relationships, and others come naturally.
Right.
But I cherish every one of them. I really do. They're good guys here, North Jersey, and people I've met. I've driven my street route all the way to California and pulled into cruise nights over there. They've made parking spaces for me, handed me trophies, and introduced me as their brother from the East Coast.
Right.
And I just enjoy it. I've won a couple of long-distance awards going all the way to California, Pleasanton, and Merced. And I've just enjoyed the sport for a very long time.
That's terrific. Speaking of Jersey, we talked off camera again. Richie and I go out on Thursday nights to Secaucus, and they have a great cruise out over there. So that's really not too far from you. Maybe we'll, maybe we'll catch you out there.
Oh, I hope we do. I hope we do meet.
They do a really, really nice cruise out there.
I'd like to come out
It's
there.
at the Harmon Plaza, and it's just down past the Meadowlands. And
I know where it is.
Real nice location, and plenty of food, different whatever you want to eat. They've got that type of restaurant,
Right.
and it's really nice. And it's a cruising for kids. They take the money and they donate it to underprivileged children. And so that's where the money goes. They don't keep anything themselves. And,
Absolutely.
They bring in the Golden Gup, who comes from
Right.
that east.
Yeah, he's from our area, radio
And then they
station.
bring in some groups on Thursday nights too. Some a cappella groups, some name groups, and it's a real nice cruise. So we look forward to it every Thursday night. We're going to start bringing. When he gets his car back, Walter, with his Willies, and when Mikey Fredericks finishes that another couple of weeks, then we'll start bringing that out there as well. So we'll look forward to having a good summer.
That's great.
So anyway, Charlie, I hope to see you soon.
Hope to see you too.
And thanks for coming on with us for a few minutes, and enjoy the rest of the
Thank you
day,
very
and
much,
let's go
Dennis.
have something to eat and drink.
Pleasure talking to you.
All right,
Thank
Charlie.
you.
Cars are us. Yeah. Good to see you. Keep up the good work.
I was just going to take your car. I quit.